thank you both for being here, all three of you for being here. And Director Olsen, first let me say I so appreciate your energy and your passion. You can see it.
Thank you.
In what you're doing. And I very much appreciated your testimony because it was eye-opening for me on a couple of aspects. So I'm going to hit you with a couple of questions. You might not have exact numbers, but if you can give me guesstimates, that would be fine. So I've been very, very outspoken. I want to start with the universal free meals in schools. I've been very outspoken. My colleague to the left here, Assemblywoman Gonzalez Rojas, has been extremely passionate and out there about this. I didn't realize, though, and I didn't think about the other benefit being that of our seniors, of how many grandparents are actually the primary caregivers. Do you have numbers as to how many will be affected by that?
I don't know how many actually claim their grandchild on their tax because that's the key.
Okay.
But you're right. I mean, it's just the way that my mind works is like, look, they don't just live at the state office for aging because I don't either, and neither do you guys. The last count I saw was about 350,000 grandparents and over 400,000 kin care. So it's still family members, but they're not necessarily grandparents that are taking care of somebody else due to a variety of reasons.
Wow, that's a very big impact, and I appreciate that. Moving on to some others, I want to talk also about the SNAP benefits. And again, I'll ask, do you have numbers as to how many seniors are currently qualifying for SNAP benefits?
I can probably get that through the other agency, but I can tell you the average benefit's a little over $200. That's $2,400 minimum a year for an older adult household, right? That goes right back into their pockets, and that's why it's so important. A lot of older adults don't tap these benefits. Just like we were talking about with veterans, there's a lot of reasons why that is, but we can do so much better. They're leaving $66 billion of benefits on the table every year at a time where, a report came out yesterday that half of older adults in New York State who are retired don't have Social Security. That is stunning to me. So that's new. I just read that yesterday, and I think AARP is going to testify about that study, but what are we doing? How can that be? $59 billion of Social Security gets pumped back into New York State, and if half of folks aren't receiving it,
wow.
Oh my God.
That is big. Do you collaborate with other agencies such as OTDA and others?
Constantly, because older adults touch all these agencies. So OTDA does HEAP. We do HEAP outreach. They're responsible for SNAP. We do SNAP outreach. We have a contract with them for SNAP Ed. So I could go on, but that really is leveraging what we do and what they do to serve people holistically and expand services under the budgets that we have. That's the number one job.
Good. Now, I work locally. I work with our district attorney, Ray Tierney's office, and we do a lot of senior scam events, and we go and do that. Do you also work with law enforcement, or do you have something that we could work with you or your offices as well?
Yeah, so make sure you ask Anne Marie when she comes up afterwards. We're the only state in the country that has organized and has a statewide EMDT, Enhanced Multidisciplinary Team, to combat elder abuse in all its forms. And that includes law enforcement, district attorneys, DSSs, aging, Office of Court Administration, et cetera, again, for a holistic approach, right? And these cases get very complicated, so what you want to do is you want to leverage every asset, because if somebody needs housing, you need the housing people there. If they need a particular benefit, you need those folks there. So very, very proud of that. That's something that we worked really hard with Anne Marie and a group of folks to establish. And so there's those types of things, but they're very localized in a hub and spoke model.
Well, we'll talk more
Absolutely.
about that.
Would love to.
And finally, I want to touch on the long-term care ombudsman program. Now, it kind of ties into what you were just saying about people not knowing about the benefits. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with families, and they didn't know this existed. This was there for them to help. How can we better get the word out? What can we do to let more families know you've got this service here for you?
Yeah, and facilities are required to post that they have access to a long-term care ombudsman. Here's who it is. Here's what the number is. Outreach and education, I don't mean to be flippant about this. I hear this. I've been doing this work 33 years, and I hear you don't do a good job doing outreach, and it's not true.
Right.
You don't need what you don't need until you need it.
Right.
And then it's like, how do you find it? Who's organizing it? What are the rules, and how do you pull it all together? Which is, one of the proposals the governor has that I'm so proud of in this year's budget is how do we pull all this stuff together? I think you guys have over 100 federal, state, and local benefits. We do, and so do others. It's
Well,
like
thank
the
you.
thing, if you
Thank
don't
you.
hear the thing, does it really exist?
Thank you.